Tea. See, it's tea. Hey, fairy grasshoppers, it's Bridget. Nice to see you. Recording a video for you to give you some positive inputs, which is through a card reading. We're going to do a card deck reading. For you guys know, I love this deck. And you know, it's my go-to. It's my like golden go-to here. It's been my go-to probably for 3 or 4 years now. The Denise Linn Sacred Traveler deck. Remember, whenever you use cards, even though it says oracle cards, you don't have to be all like deep, intense, and serious about it. You don't have to be like a psychic or mystic or want to be any of those things. You naturally are connected through spirit. You are a spirit, therefore you're qualified. You can do card readings for yourself. You can get messages for yourself. It takes practice, which just means doing it. Like anything, you got to do it in order to get any kind of results, right? Oh, excuse me. Oh, got to clear my throat as we start off with the communication channel of your intuition. Today I'd like to, let's get some advice on, let's ask for, I'm feeling a couple different things. Can you share with us a wise card deck, sometimes referred to as a divination tool? Talk to us about the difference between psychic and intuitive. What is the difference? Is there a difference between psychic and intuitive? Okay, let's start with the psychic. I see the P word coming up first, psychic. Oh, did you see that? Flip, flip, hello, back flips. Oh. So we're going to define psychic for you guys. Are you ready? We're going to get help from spirit. So this is help with your spiritual helpers, your healing team, aligned with your highest good, energy of God, creator, prime source, universe, cosmic consciousness, all the good, positive vibrational energies that you are connected to and you work with. Okay? That's a mouthful. Yeah, but that's the truth. Let's give everybody their credits. Okay? So this is the exact same picture as is on the card deck. Remember how I said oracle? Don't let that kind of freak you out or anything. It doesn't mean like you have to have some kind of qualifications. Same image. It says surrendering to the journey, release control. This idea of being psychic has become something that seems so like elite, like something that separates people. Like either you are or you aren't or that kind of thing. You guys, we have enough problem with hierarchy, I think, in our country, here in the United States and in the world, that it would behoove us to not feel such a need to distinguish and identify who we are separate from other people. You already are unique. You are an individual soul living in a body, and that collaboration is your human life experience. Okay? So the psychic piece, I think, has become something that has gotten a little too much in the ego mind for people, myself included at times. Let me tell you, especially early on, you know, I've been a psychic and a medium for, gosh, almost 17 years, 18 years now, 17. I even lose track. It's been a long time, you guys. Longer than I've done any other thing in my lifetime, as far as career or job or business or work, that kind of thing. And I know that I have struggled with ego mind, specifically about judgment, being really hard on myself, judging myself, really having this incredible, almost like gut-wrenching, beating myself up constantly for the need to always be accurate, which is the need to be right, which if you're right, then people can't point out that you're wrong or that you're not good enough or that you're just not smart enough or you're just not good at your job or something that matters to you, that hurts when people point out all of your shortcomings, right? And so this need to be accurate came from what I thought was a noble energy of wanting to be accurate, doing mediumship and connection for people in private sessions, like mediumship, one-on-one, just talking to your loved ones in the afterlife, which has a huge level of importance with it. Like, it's really important to be as accurate as possible, but it became so much pressure for me that my ego mind tried to take control and limit what I said, what I did, how I said things. I mean, it was just like this constant fight within myself between my mind and my soul, and it was not healthy. It was really tough. I still did lots of sessions and I felt good and it felt beneficial, but it was always so hard and too hard for me. And so for the last year or so, I've been really working on releasing some of my own barriers in regards to being psychic. Like, because I stopped myself from just sharing my gifts freely, just like you guys do. You guys have skills and assets and attributes that you stop yourself from sharing freely. Your creativity, your quirkiness, your uniqueness, because you're afraid of judgment too. This is a normal thing. This is a normal human thing, the mind. So this release control is about letting the mind just relax. Just let it relax so that this concept of psychicness doesn't feel like this far-reaching thing only for select few, only for special people, because that puts some people in power. And we don't want this imbalance of power or this idea of, well, I want to be like that. And so you do whatever you think you have to do in order to get like that, like take all these classes and read all these books and hire expensive coaches and have tons of psychic readings and be trained by the best and fly across the world to do. It's not like that. It doesn't have to be like that. Your natural abilities rise to the surface, and you are supposed to take those natural abilities and amplify them, appreciate them, love them, not hide them. And so being psychic, for me, I've seen it become this thing where it can be a real personal struggle to let yourself just be psychic. And then also I can see a lot of people that feel like they have this fear of missing out, almost like they're not psychic enough or they're not. And then it adds to this feeling of unworthiness that people have, like not being enough, not being smart enough, not being able to figure it out. There's something wrong with them. They're not special enough. And then there's also this amplification of this concept of being psychic, where some of the spiritual development community and spiritual teachers themselves have perpetuated this distance between the masses and themselves, where I don't know if it's intentional or unintentional, or if it's just marketing or what the deal is. It's probably all the above, depending upon the person. I'm not thinking about anybody in particular, by the way. I'm really not thinking about one person in particular. I'm just thinking about kind of the genre, the industry as it is now. An industry, psychic work is an industry, huge industry. It's kind of become this like elite thing. Like there's this gain that comes from being separate, being special, and people have to go to you. And to me, that creates a dependency. And I want to empower people to use your own intuition. So there you go. So surrendering to the journey is just allowing yourself to really appreciate what you have access and availability to, and know that inside of you, you are special, you are unique, and because of that, you're going to speak your own psychic language. You might be a heart-based person, you might be a soul person, you might physically feel in your body, you might get images in your mind's eye, all of these things. You might communicate during dream state, you might do writing to communicate. All of these things are valid and equally valuable. Okay. Psychic, surrendering to the journey. So using tools is absolutely helpful in your psychic awareness, awakening, your experience. So if you want to get better at, and you consider psychic like this professional level of intuition, use divination tools like this for yourself to get clarity. Okay, for you personally, like be psychic for yourself, be your own psychic. Okay, gotcha. There's lots of resources available to us all. All right. So let's do the second one. What is the definition of intuition? How do we define intuition? You guys know, if you watched me on Above Life channel on YouTube, or here on Fairy Grasshopper, or if you've coached with me privately or worked with me in the past as an intuitive coach or as a psychic or medium in session or in groups, you know that I have strong opinions and beliefs about the word psychic and the word intuitive, and I'm just letting the cards kind of share what they need to share for you and for me, trying to look at this from a fresh perspective too. So, all right. Okay, there's a couple of different things coming through. There's two cards here. There's one that's face up. We're going to use this one. It says, great adventure, take a risk, venture forward. Look at you, all adventurous. Aha, this is your intuition. This is the idea of expanding the belief system that you have about what is possible and what isn't. So some people feel like they just can't do that. They just can't see, they just can't connect, they can't communicate, whether their resistance comes from like religion or upbringing or misinterpretations of what psychic was in the past, or really scary experiences maybe from childhood with like ghosts or something like that, which is totally all valid, and I've experienced all of that stuff and super valid. But just to know that, yeah, you have a choice now, okay, where you're at. You have a choice whether to accept those current values or belief systems, or whether to be open to shifting or changing them, allowing them to evolve naturally, because that's what happens when you connect with your spirit. Your spirit is your intuition, is within your body. It's actually an energy center called the chakra that you activate when you do meditations or yoga, for example. A lot of people are familiar with yoga and the chakras. And that spirit, that solar plexus piece, that is up for evolution, movement, and flow all the time. It's a huge untapped resource for people. It's not just a gut instinct or a random thing. It's synchronicity. It's a synergy that happens that when you are allowing yourself to be connected with support inside you and external through either spirit guides, angels, deities, totem animals, loved ones from the afterlife, pets from the afterlife, or from your own spirit. Whatever it may be, you have access to that support, and that's what intuition is. It is definitely a great adventure. It does feel risky. I don't want to downplay the, oh, just do it, just be intuitive, just open up and follow your intuition and trust your guidance. It takes courage, it takes guts, you got to be a little adventurous in order to allow yourself to have different kinds of experience. Go to a drumming circle. Go ahead and find out what singing bowls are. Google that up on YouTube. You'll learn some stuff. Learn about toning. Learn about crystals, rocks. Learn about scents or smells, essences, maybe flower essences that you could use. There's so many tools and resources just like these. Cards, oracle cards, card decks, different colors, different artistry, different purposes, different genres. Just there's so much available to you. There's no excuse to not tap in, except for the fact that maybe taking a risk is scary, and I agree with you, it totally is. But what is the risk to just stay exactly where you're at? I mean, what kind of life is that? If you know that you're only accessing part of yourself, I mean, is that enough for you? Is it enough? Maybe that's why you don't feel like you're enough because you're not using your intuition. You're only doing the mind stuff, maybe the heart a little bit, and the body. If you're even paying attention to your body's wisdom, you're missing out a huge, valuable part of yourself, which is your intuition, your soul. I mean, imagine that is an untapped resource. Massive amounts of potential and possibility reside within that. All right. This green energy too, the fact that, I'm really into color, so I'm going to point out the color here, because color connects with chakras, energy centers of the body, and also can identify, for me, it can identify spiritual helpers for you, like especially archangels, which are non-denominational, don't belong to a specific religion. They're very multi-diverse as far as intuition goes. All right, so the green is heart. This energy is heart, and the fact that this is green water, that's totally about emotions and flow, which means you're an empath. You're watching this, you're empathic. What does empath mean? Look it up. Google it up. HSP, highly sensitive person. Empath, that means you're sensitive. It means you take in energy, information through your heart, and that's why you feel overwhelmed, overly stressed out, anxious, and sometimes depressed. And that's why. In a nutshell. And the energy at the top here, that green energy, that's your heart leading the way. It's part of the process. It's part of the journey. The heart is the best advocate and friend for your spirit. And if you're worried about resistance, it's probably energy in the heart, emotions that you have that come up and are tied to old patterns of beliefs. Something somebody said once, your grandma said about a spiritual person they visited, or a psychic person, or something you heard in a church sermon about psychics that was completely misunderstood back in the olden days. They also burned people alive in the olden days too. I mean, then that's not really cool, right? There's like a lot of things we've done in our past outside of the psychic arena that can be called into question, those belief and value systems, correct? Yes. So why not with your intuition? Why not be open to change and shift? Venture forward, venture forward. All right, so it takes courage to be intuitive. Here's the last card that I'm going to give to you in regards to this topic of psychic and intuitive. Here's the third card. 3 is always nice. I like that balance of 3 cards, although 2 cards is easy too, and 1 card. Don't overcomplicate psychic stuff, by the way. Don't overcomplicate it. All right, so here's the third one. Oh, reaching your destination. So the question I have for you is, what is your goal? What are you trying to achieve for your life? For your life purpose, for the actual tangible goals that you've set for yourself, maybe for your career, for your health, for relationships. Everybody's set some goals. Well, the spiritual part of that, or the intuitive or psychic part of that, is intention setting, is understanding what we already have. It's through tools like gratitude, compassion, and a self-motivation through encouragement, through positive thought patterns, through energy that helps support you and encourage you. Even when you are feeling down, recognizing and being really compassionate with yourself that it doesn't mean you suck because you don't feel great and a go-getter today. It just means today's a new day. It's different, and different is okay. It's not good or bad. It just is. Okay, so it says, reaching your destination, your light is shining brightly. You know what? Okay, so the shirt that I have on today is from the aliens, which could be a psychic thing, I guess. It wasn't intended to be. I just wanted to put it on because I've been thinking about Disney World. You guys know I love me some Disney. This is from Toy Story, the movie, and it matched my yellow pants, so I thought it was good. Good choice for today. I'm trying to manifest a Disney World trip, so I got to start dressing the part, you know. And this absolutely looks like the castle, the Disney castle. Reaching your destination, your light is shining brightly. And look, I see some symbolism here. So the castle for me, very symbolic. It's just like a nod to manifestation, which, by the way, if you're trying to manifest stuff, goals, using your intuition is really going to help you with that. Understanding energy, really going to help you with that. Really going to help you with that. What you would consider psychic tools, like maybe oracle cards, super going to help you with that, because the stuff you've been doing, it's only got you so far. Imagine what you could do with a little extra support. All right, and then check out the symbolism. I see a totem animal in there. Do you? Oh, you guys, every time I see animals, I just so appreciate them because they are so grounding. They're so just get you checked into reality while you're dreaming about castles and all sorts of cool things happening. And this feels like a law of attraction card, doesn't it? Hello, law of attraction, manifesting card. I see that blue butterfly. Do you see it? Ooh, that means change. Change is afoot. Oh, yes, it's something your spirit has requested. You may not have been able to hear it because you're not super connected into your intuition at this point, but it has. You have asked for change, and here you are, starting to make it happen. Look at all these little bubbles. When I see those little bubbles, they look to me like, they feel to me like ideas. I love it, because I literally see them like little thought bubbles. I totally see this in an energy, an aura of somebody. All these little thought bubbles, they're like options or ideas. I can see them in people's auras. And then the stars are like, make a wish. Make a wish. Are you afraid to make wishes because you're afraid to be disappointed? The whole point of making wishes is to start to consider things that are bigger than what you are allowing yourself to consider, because we limit ourselves. We naturally, instinctively limit ourselves based upon what? What did we talk about in the psychic part of this, the psychic piece? Our values and belief systems, right? Yes. So wishes are a good deal. They are a great way to open up your creativity to different ideas. And then problem-solving stuff starts to bubble up much easier this way. Reaching your destination, your light is shining brightly. Lots of blue. Blue is connected to that vision, that third eye chakra. But what is possible for you? Really? What is possible for you? All right, this feels great. All right, fairy grasshoppers. I hope that I've helped to inspire your spirit today as we've talked about psychic and intuitive and kind of what the meaning is using the card deck there. So again, that was the Sacred Traveler, Denise Linn deck. I will link it below with a lot of other different card deck resources that you can explore to expand your current repertoire or to just get started. I make some recommendations based on just where you're at right here, right now, because that's where you got to start. Start with where you're at and then grow from there. I'm Bridget. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you stay inspired and continue filling yourself with hope to live your best life. It's your life after all, so live it. Just live it. Thanks for being here.